I want you to put a little salt and pepper into this, okay? Some of the salt is the appreciation of the Chinese yuan or renminbi. More salt is the Greek crack-up. I mean, they're pulling deposits out of Greek banks. The repurchase market over there is dead in the water. Another little seasoning is the growing view that bonds could get whacked and that interest rates could go up. I don't mean Fed rates. I'm talking about long-term interest rates. What are you thinking, Mr. Luskin?
Well, I think that we've got to get over this black and white binary way of thinking about the economy where we're either in a recession or we're in an expansion. That's just not the way it is. We're always in shades of gray. We're always somewhere in between. And I don't think there's anything wrong in saying we're somewhere in between. And that the wonderful performance of stocks over the last year, which have brought them back to, pretty full, maybe just slightly light valuations compared to forward earnings, have been a response to the fact that versus what we expected a year ago, the world is not ending. And so to the see no evil thing, we throw crises like the euro crisis centered around the sovereign debt of Greece. We always have to go through this white knuckles cliffhanger experience, but we know in our heart of hearts that the world is too big to fail and that somebody's going to bail out Greece, somebody's going to bail out Portugal, somebody's going to bail out whoever the next victim is. And as long as we believe that those bailouts are going to continue, then the economy is going to continue to pull back, the end of the world will recede in our memories, and stocks will continue to creep up. But that does not mean we are in a sustainable, robust, self-propelled expansion of the kind that we're used to for most of our lives. Two very different things.
All right, underwhelmed by the Greece threat, okay? I'm not so sure you should be underwhelmed by the Greece threat, but apparently you are. I want to ask you about the revaluation of the Chinese yuan. Now, there's still some issues we don't know for sure. The New York Times front page, Keith Bradsher is reporting, although it is a fact, he is saying they're going to revalue the renminbi probably by 2 or 3%, then loosen the band and let it appreciate some more over time.
Right. So and Larry, we believe everything we read in the New York Times,
well,
right?
Every once in a while they get it right. But it struck me. Yeah. Now, Bradsher is a good reporter. He was by far the most opinionated of all the guys reporting among the major media today. So what do I know? I'm not just coming back from Beijing. Tim Geithner is coming back from Beijing, but he ain't talking yet, which is probably a wise thing. I want to know, is that bullish or bearish, Don Luskin?
I think it's bullish because the alternative is Armageddon. If they do not do at least a symbolic revaluation, a small revaluation, and get that managed peg to creep up a little bit over the years, then what we're going to have is Chuck Schumer and the rest of the protectionists in Congress, aided and abetted by our protectionist-in-chief, Barack Obama, are going to start a trade war that is going to be something that you cannot bail yourself out of. That's going to be the black hole that will suck the whole world economy into it. So a little RMB revaluation is way better than that. Now, you look what's happening in China's economy. They've got the hottest inflation rate of any major economy in the world. And the reason why is because they don't have independent monetary policy. By being pegged to the dollar, they're pegged to our monetary policy. And our monetary policy may make sense for a 10% unemployment rate, but it does not make sense for a 10% GDP growth rate, which is what you've got in China. So you've got incredible inflation there. The only way they can seize back any kind of monetary independence is to start revaluing the yuan.
I think that's
how they can tighten. They ought to do it, and that's good for growth, good for China.
That is a Nobel Prize winning point. That is an absolute brilliant point, that they're tied to our zero interest rate policy, which is completely inconsistent with their own economic situation. It's probably inconsistent with our economic situation, but that's a different subject. That is an absolutely brilliant point. Now, Luskin, let me ask you the flip side of this on the way out of this. What about the Tea Party revolution, which is a coalition against spending, a coalition against taxes, and a coalition of against government control of the economy? Don, politically, the Tea Party story gives the Republicans the upper hand for tremendous regime change in November.
Right.
Now, that could be bullish. That could change the future tax hikes. That could change future Obamacare. That could change the future Medicare increase on capital gains, Medicare tax. In other words, all that could get changed. Maybe the stock market knows that, Don. Where are you coming out on that?
I'm totally with you. Why do you think stocks moved to new highs after Obamacare was passed? Because that's what put the hangman's noose around the Democratic majority in Congress. The in-trade futures contracts, now with Bart Stupak gone, they now give the Republicans a 45% chance of taking over the House. That is cool. And by the way, I am long at 22 and proud of it.
You are long at 22. What does that mean?
And it's now... That means I bought the contract when it only had a 22% probability a year ago, and now it has a 45. That's a double, baby. Bet on a miracle.
All right, so my friend Dick Morris, the political strategist, says Republicans are going to win the Senate. They're going to pick up 10 seats, and they're going to pick up 50 seats in the House. They're going to carry both houses, Don.
I think that's right.
Now, you know, without laying down and genuflecting with the Republican Party, always a high-risk venture, nonetheless, it'll at least stop the mischief, right? And that's bullish for stocks? Is that what you're thinking?
Look, until Ronald Reagan gets resurrected, gridlock is the best we can hope for. That's what it'll be. It'll be fantastic. It'll just neuter the Obama anti-growth, anti-capitalism juggernaut. That's the best we can hope for, and it's going to happen.
All right, so you sound mildly bullish. You sound mildly bullish, Don. I got to get out. You sound mildly bullish.
There's got to be something good that would come from consensus. Let's try it for a while.
All right, let's try it for a while.
Well, how about a two-party deal where you've got Republicans in Congress and Democrats in the executive? They block each other, and the consensus is do nothing.
All right, Don Luskin.
I like that.
Mike.